Hey everybody, what's up? Today the Seattle Mariners just announced their official opening day starting lineup. Opening game is tonight at 7 against the Giants, and to be honest, this is the most confusing lineup I've ever seen. I'm not the coach, and I probably don't know as much as Scott Service, but we're going to run over this lineup with you, and you can decide for yourselves. Is this the right lineup for the Mariners? Because to me, it does not look like it. So starting things off, he put Mitch Haniger batting first. Now, first, usually your number one hitter is a guy who has good speed and gets on base well. Mitch Haniger, unfortunately, I don't think he does either of those. He doesn't have very good speed, and he's more of a power guy. He's not as much of a contact hitter who gets on base all the time. He puts up decent batting averages, but when your batting average is like 260, 250, 240, that's what Haniger is usually around. That's not really a leadoff hitter, and he also doesn't have the speed to match it. So putting Haniger at number one doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think he's much smarter to put him in a cleanup role. We used to hit him, I think we hit him we moved him to be our number three hitter for a while after we lost Cano, and then we moved him to four after we lost Nelson Cruz. And those are both much better spots for Haniger than number one. I don't see the point in putting a guy without as much speed and who's not as much of a contact guy at number one. Then we have batting second, Ty France. This one doesn't make much sense to me either, but it does make more sense than Haniger. I think Dylan Moore should get to stay at the batting second, though. Dylan Moore hit second for us almost the entire season last year, and he raked. He did so well. Why are we replacing him with Ty France? Ty France is good, but Ty France can hit fifth or sixth or eighth or somewhere else. Why is Ty France... Is Ty France suddenly better than Dylan Moore? And also, the DH hitting second just doesn't really sit well with me. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm actually okay with this, but I'd still would prefer to see Dylan Moore in that number two spot because that's where he was all of last year, and he did well. So why are we switching up the rhythm now? Then batting third, we have Kyle Seager, and this one I like. Until Kyle Lewis is back with the team, Kyle Seager is our best hitter, so put him at three. That makes a lot of sense to me. This one I agree with totally. And then once Kyle Lewis is back, I would say have Lewis hit three and move Seager down to four. That's a great lineup. But for now, obviously, Kyle Lewis on the injured list. So Kyle Seager batting third. This is a good pick. Then we got number four. This one is probably the most confusing of all. Evan White? Like, what? What has Evan White done to prove that he deserves to be a cleanup hitter? Right? He's our first baseman. Last year, he hit like 180 with 4 bombs. Or maybe 6. But that doesn't matter. Your number 4 hitter is supposed to be a good hitter. Usually it's going to be your third best hitter on the team, and your best power hitter on the team is going to hit fourth. So, Mitch Haniger, anyone? Mitch Haniger is a much better power hitter by proven track record than Evan White, and I get that Evan White has potential. I get that. But at the same time, last year at the plate, he was not good. Like, he sucked. I'm sorry, Evan White, but he was not good at the plate. So batting him fourth when you have Mitch Haniger, who could easily bat fourth for you, doesn't make any sense. And if you're wondering who would bat first, if you put Haniger at 4, how about J.P. Crawford? Crawford hit first all of last year. So ideally, my top 4, I would put Crawford 1. Then I would probably put Dylan Moore 2. Seager stays at 3. And then put Mitch Haniger at 4 instead of this weird wonky thing with Haniger leading off. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And Evan White doesn't deserve to hit 4th. I'm sorry. Batting 5th, we have Taylor Trammell. This one is another kind of interesting one. Trammell's never played a major league game before. This is going to be his debut. Putting him at 5th seems like a little high to me. Usually your number 5 guy is going to be another guy who's a good power hitter. Trammell, not really a power hitter. I would probably move him to the back end of the lineup. Put him at 9, give some speed and contact at the back of the lineup. You usually like to have a pretty solid contact hitter with good speed at number 9. So I would move Trammell to 9. It's his debut. It's his first game. Why does he get to hit 5th? And then I would put Ty France at 5 or even Dylan Moore. If you want to keep France at number 2, then put Dylan Moore at 5. Both of those options make more sense than putting Trammell at 5, who's never played a major league game before. Then at batting 6th, we have Dylan Moore. So Dylan Moore at 6, I think this is low for him. Like I said, he should be batting second. I would put Evan White here at the number 6 hole. This is a lot better for Evan White. That way, there's not as much pressure on Evan White. If you have a situation where Haniger gets a single, Seager gets a single, and suddenly there's two outs, 2 on sort of scenario, and Evan White's at the plate, I don't trust Evan White in that scenario at all. I think there's a good chance he's probably going to get out. That's why I would rather have Evan White maybe batting 6th. A little less pressure. Take the pressure off of him. Don't put your second-year player who hasn't had much success at all at the plate at the big league level. So I would put him to number 6, and obviously putting Haniger in his place at 4. But again, right now they have more batting 6th, which is fine, I guess. But I would like to see more. At least put him at 5, if not 2. Like at least swap Moore and Trammell. At the very I feel like it's doing Dylan Moore a huge disservice putting him at number 6 because he's definitely deserves to be in the top half of this lineup. He's proven that he's one of our best hitters. Then you got number 7. I agree with this. This is Jake Fraley. 7 is usually going to be your worst hitter other than the catcher, and Jake Fraley is our worst hitter on this team, probably the worst, even including the catcher. Jake Fraley's not a good hitter. Putting him at 7 totally makes sense. Then batting 8th is Tom Murphy. This is totally makes sense as well. Almost always the team will bat their catcher 8th. I don't know why. That's just how it is. Sometimes the catcher hits 5th or 6th. Like if you're Gary Sanchez, then you might get to hit a little bit higher in the order, or JT Realmuto. But other than a couple of exceptions, your catcher's going to hit 8th, maybe 9th, but usually 8th. So this is a perfect spot for Tom Murphy. This is the third I agree with. I agree with Seager. I agree with Fraley at 7. I agree with Tom Murphy at 8. And then we have batting 9th, J.P. Crawford, which is fine, I guess, if you don't want him leading off. But I would personally put Crawford as your leadoff hitter because he was our leadoff hitter last year, and he's probably the quickest guy on the team right now. Unless you want to say Sam Haggerty might be quicker, but Sam Haggerty's not a starter. So at that point, I would move J.P. Crawford to your leadoff. He hit there last year, so he does have more experience hitting leadoff than any other player on the team. So putting him at 9, though, it does make sense. If you don't want him leading off, the only other spot that really fits for him is number 9. So there's really only 2 options, in my opinion, for J.P. Crawford. I would just prefer to see him in the leadoff. So to recap, the current lineup is number 1, Mitch Haniger, number 2, Ty France, number 3, Kyle Seager, number 4, Evan White, number 5, Taylor Trammell, 6, Dylan Moore, 7, Jake Fraley, 8, Tom Murphy, and 9, J.P. Crawford. Personally, my favorite lineup would have been Crawford batting 1st, Dylan Moore at batting 2nd, keep Seager 3, move Haniger down to 4, then put Ty France 5, Evan White 6, and then you can keep Fraley at 7, keep Murphy at 8, and move Taylor Trammell to number 9. But of course, I'm not the manager. I'm not the one making these decisions. The Mariners seem to think this is going to get them the dub. They are playing the Giants. It shouldn't be that hard. I'm not sure. I don't even know who's starting for the Giants. It's probably going to be Kevin Gausman. He was their best pitcher from last year. I'm not sure if they still have Johnny Cueto. So it could be Cueto, but my guess is it'll be Kevin Gausman. I know Marco Gonzalez will be on the mound for the Mariners tonight. I'm excited to see how we play. I'm excited to get my reaction out tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to get that to you guys. And with that, this video is over, and let's go Mariners.